Um, it's from the vault.
So I like the whole fire, just feel like it dries out so much.
It could be some pretty good flowers. Like, have you seen it while it's growing back there?
Yeah, it just takes us so long to package it. Because it looks like a good girl. I don't know. I'm ready to play. That's why I wanted my friend to come out here. He's like the most picky motherfucker I know. It's like, definitely should talk to him.
You ain't off. I'm trying not to get the TV. There we go.
Great, but nobody has to come back before so long because only so little needs to do.
You know, I'm looking at my son out for these things.
He told me that.
You say what?
You know, a lot of people put their eggs out for these things.
For real. Yeah, people. I noticed one thing. People at the Met flake a lot. At least the workers.
I tried to keep up with January 8 several times. Every single time. Sorry, I'm busy, bro. I got some shit to do. I'm usually busy as fuck. I got my brother. I just started construction. So I've been doing like random side, but like today I put up a shelf with a nail saw. It's really like an hour job. Took me like 4. Did really well there. Great reputation. So I West Point. Our first expansion lab was Kyle Tarver. This is for beer. He's a West Point grad. In Oklahoma, we've been doing it for about 3 years. So here in Phoenix, Labs too, like here in New Jersey. Really, there's two of us. There's me, the CFO. His name's Elijah Levicki, one of my best friends. We've been friends for 20 years. I was in the Army for 5 years. When I got out, I started with alcohol. That's how I found this place. Don't get me started talking about psychedelics. Maybe that's where testing side was fun.
I'm about to sit right here. You can sit over here. I'm about to interview him real quick. Yeah, I'm probably going to smoke that one.
Never done this before, LaTosque.
Oh, yeah?
Let's go.
You say what? Carl from High Grade. Your Instagram say Carl Lee, right?
Carl Wheeler.
Oh,
Yeah.
Carl Will. Okay. I thought it said Carl Lee Will.
Carl Wheeler.
Carl Will.
Yeah.
All right.
Those things are cool. That's one of those recycled trays, isn't it?
Yeah. Check. Yeah. How you doing? You got? Yes, sir. How y'all doing back at home? You tuned into another episode of Cannabis and Coffee. It was a crazy long intro. But we got a bunch of guests here tonight. Place is packed out. We got Mary Jane's smokewear in the house. Make some noise. Where Quintina? Quintina, let's get you over here. Mary Jane Smokewear. We're gonna do a shout out. We got Mary Jane Smokewear in the house. How you doing?
Good. How's everybody doing?
Tell everybody about the brand you rapping.
I am with Mary Jane Smokewear. They've been established since 2009. We are a clothing brand apparel. We have pretty dope shirts, example the one I'm wearing today. Skywalk. Oh, you can't even see it really.
My bad.
You're good.
Let 'em see what you got.
Skywalker OG right here. It's actually pretty cool because the inside glows in the dark. It's pretty dope. We have a Fuck the DEA shirts, which is one of our most popular sellers. We already know why.
Okay. How can they find you? Find out where to find all the merch and everything that y'all sell.
Straight up on maryjanesmokewear.com. Really, you can just Google it, find it, and we can go on Instagram as well. We are local. We are located in Scottsdale, and we're also a sister brand to a clothing company. So we do also printing, embroidering, stickers, business cards, anything you can think of. We can probably print it.
Sounds like a plan. Make sure y'all hit up Mary Jane Smokewear to get your merch needs and everything. All right. You see Quintina out. Ladies and gentlemen, we live here at the Elevations Lounge. Another episode of Cannabis and Coffee. We got Jeeter on the way. I'm sitting here with my man Carl from High Grade Testing Labs. Carl, we met a few weeks ago, and you started telling me about your company, and I was like, damn, that's tight because I've been looking to get a testing facility onto the podcast. So it's dope to have you here. Welcome onto the podcast, my guy.
Thanks, LaTosque. Great to be here.
No problem, man. No problem. So tell me more about High Grade. We were talking a little bit off the air. You say it's two founders. What do you got going on with High Grade? Tell me what first of all, what is High Grade and what do you all do in the market?
Yeah, you bet. Thanks again. It's great to be here. We're a testing lab, a cannabis testing lab. The first state that we started was in Oklahoma, and maybe that's the best place to start the story.
Okay.
I was a West Point grad, an infantry officer for 5 years, and when I got out, I lived in New York for a few years, and I was consulting for a biopharmaceutical company.
Okay.
There, growing out my hair, living the dream, after the Army life. And
So this started after you left the Army.
oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
That's the first thing that a lot of people do when they get out of the Army is grow their hair
Grow
out.
their hair out?
Oh yeah, oh
Okay.
yeah.
So
And so I was in New York, and I got a call from my dad. It was 2018, and he called me to let me know that cannabis had been legalized in Oklahoma.
wow.
And
in 2018
that was in
or 19?
2018.
Okay.
And he's an old hippie. Cannabis kind of runs in the family, and he told me, come back to Oklahoma. You need to come do something in Oklahoma. Start a cannabis company of some kind. And so, I immediately knew that wanted to do something in testing. It's kind of the exciting side of it for me.
And that's what I was going to ask. Sorry to interrupt, but that's what I was going to ask you. Like, so you went from the military. First, to get involved in cannabis at all is something crazy, but let alone for you to go into testing, because a lot of people want to get involved and instantly go into growing or selling weed.
Mm-hmm.
But you say you wanted to get involved in the side of testing and everything. Why was that? What led you to that decision?
Through the course of that's a great question. Do you cut some of these? Or are we live?
Yeah, we're live, but you can take your time. The people
Yeah,
get
thanks,
it. Yeah. They know we sitting here smoking. They looking right now. The folks are actually looking right now.
Yeah.
They see us on YouTube, Twitch, on Facebook, on Twitter, and guess what? Guess what? Soon on Reddit. Soon on Reddit. Right now, this podcast is streamed in over 18 countries, which is a beautiful thing, you know?
So the most exciting thing about the plant is probably a lot of the things that we haven't even figured out about it yet. You know, the more that we figure out, the more that we learn about the plant, the more that we learn that a lot of the medicinal benefits are coming from terpenes. You know, obviously THC and CBD are amazing, but it's the terpenes and it's the science behind the plant that I think are really pretty exciting.
Okay. Tell me more. What makes the terpenes exciting? What makes, because a lot of people get so caught up on the high percentage THC that they forget about terpene profiles and everything like that. So why don't you tell the people a little more about terpenes? You know, I got the right person in the house. Go ahead and tell the people about terpenes.
I love talking about it, and you're absolutely right. It's well, a story that I like to tell is one about our heavy metals analyst in Oklahoma City. His name's Dryden, and he's a cystic fibrosis patient, and he dryer vapes high pinene strains of cannabis because pinene is a bronchodilator, opens up the lungs.
Really?
Yeah.
And I know, see, you learn something new every day. That I did not know. I know a lot about cannabis, but that I did not know.
And so that's cool because, you know, CF is a lung, it's a lung disease, and you know, you don't necessarily want to smoke things when you have lung disease, but dry herb vaping is a really healthy, good way to do it. And so he finds high pinene strains of cannabis, and that's what he uses to help his CF. And like he uses that as a treatment. He notices, you know, side by side with his normal biopharmaceutical drugs, that it helps him. As a result, his lung function has gone up.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's just one of them. That's just one of the terpenes. And so, yeah, and you know, you can.
So,
Yeah.
do you have a favorite terpene?
I like limonene.
Okay.
You know, a limonene. When you look at a strain and the highest terp is limonene, that's usually pretty special, and also it means it has those sativa effects that you're often going to look for. Lights you up, sometimes lights you up too much.
I love a good sativa
Oh,
as well,
yeah.
man. I'm telling you, a good sativa will get your mind stimulated and have you right all night.
When I want to think really hard about something, I'll smoke something high in limonene.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice. So we did stop and start talking about terpenes, but the form of the company, Oklahoma.
Yeah, so we started the company. Oklahoma was my home state, and so I moved back home to Oklahoma. And myself and a small team of scientists, we started High Grade Labs Oklahoma. And you know, one of the best things about High Grade is the people. Just like every day I go to work, I'm just so grateful for the people that we get to work with. It's not something special to the lab necessarily, you know. I mean, a lot of the, you know, that's one cool thing about the cannabis industry in general, is that lots of people, like, it's cool to see people who are passionate about the work they're doing, and you see that a lot in the cannabis industry.
It's a really fun and rewarding industry to work in. You meet a lot of great people. Sometimes you meet more great people than not so great people. But I definitely love working in the cannabis industry, man. It's a dope place to be in.
So much fun. Yeah. So we gained a really good reputation in Oklahoma as being a lab that, you know, a lab that'll shoot you straight. We are communicative. We actually care about the plant. You know, something about lab testing is, you know, it's more than just providing a COA. You know, it's important to be able to, you know, talk through it, to be able to, you know, if something fails for pesticides or heavy metals, you know, it's important to be able to, you know, help growers and processors figure out what those problems are. Yeah, so we grew, and we did really well in Oklahoma, and I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but West Point, Army, and one thing that we wanted to do with the company in general is it to be a heavily veteran focused company.
So you hire a lot of veterans from the
Yep,
into your
yep.
company?
And so our first expansion lab was High Grade Labs of Arizona, and we brought on Kyle Tarver, who's another one of my classmates at West Point actually, and to run the lab here in Arizona along with Dr. Teresa Calgar, who's our lab
About
director.
how long ago was that?
We started building about a year ago here in Arizona.
Okay, and you mentioned that you say you're waiting on your paperwork for that.
That close to getting our testing approvals here in Arizona.
So what all states do you have your approval to operate in right now?
So Oklahoma, Arizona will be our first expansion lab that gets up and going.
Okay.
We're also about 3/4 the way through building labs in Maryland and New Jersey as well.
Maryland and New Jersey?
Yep.
What parts?
Baltimore.
Okay.
Yeah, Baltimore.
Okay.
And then North Jersey.
All right.
Yeah.
How's the cannabis laws out there? You are you pretty in tune? Is it rec or med out there in Jersey and Maryland?
You know, one of the most interesting parts of the job is every state is completely different. When it comes to cannabis laws and regulations, and so it's really interesting to get to see, from state to state.
How it varies. Like our laws here and the laws in Illinois are completely different. That's where I'm from. It's the prices are completely different as well. So it's fucking insane. But I mean, go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh man. So where did the idea of your company come from? Like I like with High Grade, all your logo, everything. Like
different. It's an amazing team, and so there's several of. I mean, all of us have contributed and continue to contribute. To the company and to the brand.
Okay, one second. All right, go ahead. Contribute to the company and the brand.
Yeah.
So it was a collective effort. You're saying?
Totally. One of the first people to come on in Oklahoma was my uncle, Eric Wheeler, and he's an artist, and he helped design a lot of the logos and things like that. Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm about to start getting into the operation questions now.
Okay. Yeah.
How do you find companies to come source that material to you for testing, or is it just you build, they come? Like, do you have to market yourself to other companies on why they should come get their testing done with you?
Definitely. This industry is just like most industries, and everything comes down to relationships and just meeting people and getting to know people and getting to know people's like what people are struggling with and how we can help. And so, one of the things that we're proud of is our turnaround. That's aside from just having really amazing people at the lab. We get we have new instruments and we have good maintenance policies and things, and so it's really important for us that our instruments are always running so we don't miss turn times. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, how did you raise funding for the start of your venture?
There's a couple of there's really two people, and both of them have been two of my best friends for like 20 years. One one bit of advice that I took, and I think is important is, when you get into business with people, you really want to know who they are and have a really good trusting relationship. And another great thing about High Grade is from the 20-year-old tech all the way up to the investors like everyone is on board with what we're trying to do, which is amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What kind of culture exists in your organization, and how did you establish it?
So the what's the culture at High Grade? You know, everyone at High Grade, we're pretty proud of what we do. And so day in and day out, we just really care about have being the best lab out there and having good science every day. We One thing that this also is important at High Grade, and I'm supposed to say this and this, where I'm at, but respect for everybody in the lab is just extremely important. Uh, we work really hard to be communicative and to be open and honest with everybody without people's egos getting in the way. And we we do a really good job of that. And so we one of the things that I have said kind of since the beginning that I just totally believe is and has really helped is we're starting this thing from scratch, and we get to do whatever we want to do, like
Right.
whatever it is that we need to be better and to do our jobs better and to be the best. Like we're supportive of each other in what we do.
Okay. So, how has cannabis affected your life?
Immensely is how it's affected my life.
Hey, have you
When
ever
I-
gotten a charge for cannabis? Or
No.
do you?
No.
You have a family member that ever got a charge from cannabis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My dad.
Your dad has a charge from cannabis. What was your dad's charge, man? Did he get caught with a lot, or was it like a little eighth?
He has had multiple.
You did say your dad was a hippie.
Logged encounters with
Nice. So I'm pretty sure he's enjoying the legal cannabis out in Oklahoma. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
beautiful, man.
Absolutely.
That's beautiful.
He's the guy that he called me to tell me to come to Oklahoma. Unfortunately, his lungs are real bad, and so he can't smoke anymore. But he can eat edibles.
Hey, you see what I was about to say? I'm gonna have to get your dad a copy of my cookbook. That's what we're gonna have him at home cooking with that cannabis. All right.
When I call my dad every day while I'm out here in Arizona, he lives with me in Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
I call him just to make sure he's eating his edibles.
Okay. Nice. What's your dad's favorite kind of edible?
I'm not sure. I think he'd probably tell you the one that hits him the hardest.
One that hits him hardest. I feel you. Anything, right? As long as it hit, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to Tommy. Tommy, man, appreciate you, my guy. Thanks for coming through. Tommy is rolling these thumbs over here. Tommy, keep them coming, bro. Keep them coming. Yep. Let's go. We at the Elevations Lounge. Ladies and gentlemen, live Cannabis and Coffee. I'm sitting here with my man Carl with High Grade Testing Labs, and we got a lobby full of people. Tell me your favorite cannabis strain.
Anything with limonene? Yeah.
So you don't have one in particular that you go to every time you see it on the menu? You wait for a dispo to have it on the shelves and that's your special pack?
Well, it's especially when you go from state to state, it's really hard to find any particular strain that's the same anywhere.
You can find cookies anywhere.
You
can find like Blue
absolutely.
Dream, Strawberry
Absolutely.
Cough.
And so I try and shop on Terpenes because that's a more consistent way for me to know what I'm getting.
Okay.
I
feel you. So do you hop on like Leafly and then like see which look at the spaces got those on there?
Yeah.
Okay.
What a pretty cool thing that we did a couple of months ago in Oklahoma was the grow off, and the grow off is it's a really cool science experiment because one cultivator he cuts call it in Oklahoma, this one I think around 20 people who participated, but call it 100, 100 different cuts and 100 different growers, which means 100 different environments, 100 different sets of nutrients, just completely the same exact genetic clone grown 100 different ways.
Wow,
And
that's crazy.
and the results vary widely from grow to grow to grow. There's in this particular one, we knew that there was the terpene farnesene, and so you could tell that farnesene was generally in most of the plants. There were a few that it didn't show at all, farnesene.
Okay.
And then some of the plants were the number one terp was farnesene, and others it was the second, third, or fourth. Just a really good science experiment. Basically, that it's it's really difficult. Just by name to kind of know what you're getting. It's important to look at terpenes to really dial in, the things that you're looking for.
Yeah. What's your favorite way to medicate?
I love the process of rolling and smoking a joint with.
Yeah. Can
Yeah.
you roll? Can you roll a fatty like Tommy over here rolling? Can you roll a thumb?
That's amazing, Jay.
It's a pretty solid joint. I rolled. Hey, Tommy could join the squad rolling any day, man.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Tommy, what's your favorite way to medicate? Smoking joints? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Nice, nice. Do you make edibles at home?
I never have,
Never have.
but a good friend of mine, Carissa, she makes edibles, and they're, she grows the plants, she makes them, and they're amazing.
Shout out to Clarissa.
Yeah.
Keep making those edibles, girl.
Keep making those edibles.
Keep doing your thing. If you had 24 hours to spend with anybody, dead or alive, who would you spend it with? And you're getting to smoke the whole time, pick their brain, chop it up.
That's a great question. Dead or alive, I could have a conversation with him.
Yep.
Gosh, a single person.
Y'all sitting down next to a pound. Let's start with somebody alive.
Gosh, that's a great. I mean, there's so many people I'd like to talk to.
Who was the first name that just popped in your head? Because you skipped past that first name. Go ahead and say the first name. I know you just had a first name.
Elon Musk would be a pretty cool person to talk to.
See? You see, why'd you skip past Elon Musk? Because it's controversial?
I think talking to him would be an enlightening experience.
Really?
Yeah.
You think Elon's that smart to where it'll be that enlightening? It'll change your life that much? Or is it not about the smart? It's just like amount?
Well, that's the thing. It's hard to. Yeah. That's why it's hard to pick just a single person because I think you can have enlightening conversations with
anybody,
with pretty much anybody who wants to be present
True.
with you.
True. Like we having an enlightening conversation right now.
Yeah.
I'm getting to learn a lot about you and
Yeah.
a lot about cannabis. You just enlightened me about your favorite terpene and what it does to the body. You just enlightened the folks right there. So the people now knows what everything we just talked about. It's a beautiful time. It's a beautiful time to be alive, my guy. Thanks for sharing that, Elon. All right, so who would you smoke a pound with dead? That's deceased.
Dead. Oh, probably one of the old philosophers.
Cool.
Yeah, I think.
I think that would be a good start.
I think some of those old philosophers, knew some things about life that maybe we don't even understand today.
I'm gonna say one that I would love to smoke with, and that guy is Socrates.
Yeah.
That guy is Socrates. I love to smoke one with Socrates, man. That guy, You know what? He definitely probably smoked some good gas too.
Had to have.
Who would you
Had to
smoke
have.
with? Which philosopher would you smoke with? If not Socrates.
Old one, like,
Okay.
or maybe like an old artist. You know,
Like an old
uh,
painter or just old writer.
like like Leonardo.
Okay.
What are the things
He
he was
definitely
thinking
had a lot of
about?
shit going on in his head, didn't he?
Totally,
He had a lot of shit going on
totally.
in his head. So, um, you've been to a lot of cannabis events in your time, right?
Yeah,
What's your favorite cannabis event and why?
MJ BizCon last year was pretty cool. Yeah,
MJ BizCon. That
that
was out in
was
Vegas, right?
yeah, it was.
Okay.
That was one of the first kind of big events that we'd gone to, and it was me and Lige and our business directors from each of the states were there, hanging out.
Okay.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah, talking to people, doing the
so you've
thing.
been to a lot of events. You've been to a lot of events.
Yeah,
You've smoked a lot of times since you
yeah.
started. Tell me one of your craziest smoking stories. Yeah, the one that you just thought about and almost fell out the chair.
Man, I
You can leave names out, but it sounds like it was a fun ass time.
yeah.
I just saw
Well,
it on your face.
they're the craziest smoking stories. I wouldn't always classify as fun.
Yeah.
But
So is it like a
but
prank going on or what?
we were at a pro game, a pro football game in Seattle
Okay.
for a wedding. I mean, we just smoked so much we couldn't find our seats. We just
So you're
wandering
wandering
around.
around the whole stadium,
Yeah,
high as shit.
yeah,
You just can't find. Okay.
yeah.
And by the time, what is it, second quarter? By the time you find your spot, almost. Was it that bad, or was it worse?
We got there in the first quarter.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right. Good. Good.
We
I'm
did all
glad. I'm
right.
glad you recovered that good.
Yeah.
Good. Good. So, what's next for you in high grade? What do you got planned in the next 5 years? 5, 10 years.
5 or 10 years, we're hope to be the name in cannabis testing. We're
The spot where everybody go get their
yeah
cannabis
we
tested.
we'd like for there to be a high grade in every state the plant's legal.
Okay.
Yeah,
And with that, you test anything that has cannabis inside, right?
yeah. hmm
Any products, cannabis. All right.
I also I in that time scale I also hope for the company to be a good example of what a good company could be, and talked about it before, but we're super proud of the veteran aspect of the company.
Yeah, that
Uh,
is an amazing thing because there's a
yeah,
lot of veterans that do leave the service and they don't know what to do.
see
You're here telling them right now.
that's the really exciting stuff. We didn't get to mention my first experience with cannabis. The reason why I used cannabis was for it to get me off of alcohol. One thing that is just true about the U.S. military is, I mean, a shocking number of people are and come out just alcoholics, and
Yeah.
it's considered normal. Um, I was one of those people, and was going down a pretty bad spiral right after the army, and started smoking cannabis, and it helped me. Just for anyone that's been in that situation, they know it's a struggle and it takes years. But cannabis was a central part of me getting over that.
That's beautiful. That's
Yeah,
beautiful to hear that, man. So
and
how long?
and so like that's that's a message that I would love for anyone who's thought about their consumption of alcohol, especially veterans, just to think about it. And more people are starting to understand that, and how cool would it be if the VA would prescribe cannabis to veterans?
That would be amazing.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
That
Yeah.
would be amazing.
And
But
so
that needs to come with decriminalization.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Make it an actual medicine and let's treat it like a medicine.
Yeah.
You know?
You know, obviously, Army veterans aren't the only demographic that can benefit from proper cannabis consumption. Like
Mhm.
any group, and most people could benefit, but veterans is one that I can speak to, and so like it's perhaps good for a lot of people to see that that people can have very productive and good lives
Lives
using
while consuming
cannabis.
the cannabis. Yeah, because the whole misconception about it all is that people who consume cannabis, lazy, unproductive, can't get shit
Yeah,
done, not successful. But some of the best champions on the planet smoke cannabis. Some of the most successful people on the planet smoke cannabis.
I feel like I
And
run
so,
circles around like like me using cannabis,
uh huh,
properly. Like
yeah,
I just function better. Yeah. No, no,
that's
no.
that's
Yeah.
a lot of people don't see it like that. I mean, I do know some people that cannabis turns into a dum dum. Like they sit on the couch.
I mean, you can have too much of anything.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah, they
Uh,
sit down on the couch and just don't do shit. I do know some people, who do that.
yeah.
So I gotta ask you, who are your role models?
Uh, anybody who's written a book that I really like, and so
What's your favorite book?
uh, the book that I keep on the top of my shelf is 0 to 1. By
0 to 1.
0 to 1 by Peter Thiel.
Okay, what's that about?
Uh, it's
I
it's
actually
about
haven't heard about this one.
it's a great book. You got to read it. You
Okay.
know, we it 0 to 1 describes the process of going from zero of something to one of something in the context of business, and so it's the idea of generating something that didn't exist before.
Okay.
Uh, yeah,
I have to check that out. What do you value most in a friendship?
most in the what?
What do you value most in a friendship?
Awareness.
Awareness. So, what was the first concert you attended?
First concert. That's my first concert. Yeah.
Been to that many,
I mean,
or has it been that long?
it might have been
It hasn't been that long.
I didn't. I think first concert I went to was when I was at West Point, and I believe it was a Trace Atkins, that dude's name, country music singer.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that
Trace
was.
Atkins.
Yeah.
All right. Um, where do you want to visit most?
Oh, the next place that I'd like to visit is Morocco. Yeah,
It's a solid choice. That's
seems
a
like a
solid
cool
choice.
place.
Morocco definitely does have a nice scenery. That's I'm visualizing myself right there on the Morocco beach, right off the coast. Go ahead,
Right
close your
there.
eyes. Remember, 'cause we vibing right now. I'm put the green screen on. Right now, we on the Morocco coast. We got the damn Tesla out there
Oh
because
yeah,
we're gonna go electric.
might as well
A few bad shorties.
have a solar roof too while we're at it.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. There we go. Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful right there. Thanks for visualizing, using your imagination.
Yeah.
Everybody at home, that's what you call using your imagination. I hope you visualize yourself on the Moroccan coast as well, with a few baddies and a Tesla out there. 'Cause that was a mind exercise for you. Uh, where would you be? I mean, what is your ideal way to spend a weekend?
For me, Saturday is for uh, being with friends, hanging out, catching up with people. And Sundays are generally just me alone days. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What skill would you like to master?
Working on Arabic. I'm working on my Spanish. I feel like I'm just always trying to be capable of continuing to learn. And so, like the skill of uh, never being content with the way I currently think about things, and to always be wanting to learn, you know, the truth about the way the
The
world
origin
works.
of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you were to write a book about yourself, how would you name it?
Man, if I had thought about some of these questions, I probably could have had some pretty good answers.
That's the
Uh,
reason why I don't give them out, man. That's the reason why I don't give the questions out.
I feel that. Yeah, I hear that. So, what would the title be? I think it'd be something along the lines of just trying to figure it out.
Just trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. See, this boy Tommy, boy, stay rolling. Look at that.
Damn. Tommy, that's yours?
Tommy just wrote this. That's crazy. Look at that. Look how you heard how hard it sounded.
That's good.
Tommy said you rolled a whole pound, right? Or no. 114 grams in a joint in a single joint. Kid might have the record. We might have to have you to do that on the next episode. Might have to have you to roll like at least 2 ounces. By the time you finish with the episode, we'll be able to spark it up. All right. Hey, what's a goal that you hope to achieve in the next year?
In the next year, uh, hope in the next year, um, we'll have labs in Oklahoma, Arizona, New Jersey, and Maryland, just rocking and rolling. Um,
Okay. Okay. What's the best advice you've ever been given?
I think a pretty good piece of advice is uh, don't take anything too seriously. You know, uh,
That's a good one.
yeah,
That's a that's a real good one.
yeah.
Actually, that's perfect for this moment. That's perfect for this moment.
And
All
in
right.
particular, you don't ever, it's important not to ever take yourself too seriously. Things are pretty, it can be pretty funny if you look at it in the right way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the irony of a lot of stuff, and I'm having a introspective moment right now. Like
Good.
it's beautiful that you just said that. That's why I said, "Damn, that's so beautiful." Because I was just thinking that in my head, and so because you just said that, I'm just
Yeah.
like,
Good.
man, if you knew today, like how today went, it was crazy. But it's like, but you, if you
Isn't
don't
it
take,
incredible? Isn't it incredible? Every
man,
day is different, and
man,
every day is worth being grateful for.
exactly.
Yeah.
Every morning I wake up, I look at the wall and I say,
Thank God I'm here.
I am so grateful to
Yeah.
be able to chase everything that I'm going after.
Like
And and
if you
and,
would have
and
if you
it's
would have
not even
told
really
me
chasing everything I'm going after, right? Because it's already there for me.
if someone would have
It's
told
already there.
if someone would have told me 5 years ago you'd be doing a cannabis podcast in Phoenix, what would you have told them?
5 years ago,
Yeah.
well, I had just moved out
LaTosque,
here.
you're doing this thing. You're
I
going to
had
be in
just
Phoenix talking to this dude from Oklahoma who started a cannabis testing lab, smoking weed with Tommy.
I had just moved out
Fat
here,
J's from
so
Tommy.
I would be like doing a podcast. No way, because I was like so focused on just making everything about music and writing for other artists and everything. But the more I got involved in cannabis, the more I started doing the podcast. So that opened up so many more doors for me to do that. And I'm still doing music, still performing every month and everything. But if you had told me that I'd be doing a podcast instead of like a weekly podcast instead of performing weekly,
Uh-huh.
I would have been like, hell no, you lying. You bullshitting. I'm performing every week because pre-COVID I was performing every week. So
Okay.
it to go from that and then to switch over to doing podcasts every week, so
That's a
we
little
working
different.
back on getting the performances and everything in the books too. So we definitely gonna be on the stage near you, ladies and gentlemen. So come out and see the performance. Also, damn, I'm looking back at the table. Shout out to the Mint Cafe. They supplied a meal deal tonight. It's 100 milligram, 200 milligram pizzas and 100 milligrams of hot wings. We got back there, so you definitely get some medicated pizza in your stomach when we hop off of the podcast. What motivates?
I just want to. I just want to build something meaningful. I just want to thrive and contribute and add value to the world.
Okay.
Is a high is a high response.
All
Yeah.
right. So my last question for you
Uh-huh.
tonight is, what do you want to tell the people?
Come try out High Grade Labs. Yeah.
And I second that motion. Come try out High Grade Labs. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back after this quick commercial break. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Cannabis and Coffee. I just had my man Charlie on from High Grade Testing Labs. I'm high as shit right now. I know you see the NBA jams in the back here at the layout. Yeah, we got it. It's a nice little layout here at the spot. Let me move out the way so y'all can see what else they got. They got little tools and they got the stud and glass in the back. Y'all could go ahead and order you different little pieces and shit when you come in. Definitely. And if you come stay at the hotel, make sure you check out the cookbook so you can whip you up some if you got your little hot plate in your room. But I'm letting y'all know, got a text from the CEO, Patryk, and we're going to reschedule the sit down with our boys at Jeter. They are not going to be able to make it tonight. They had an emergency in California and they had to fly back. So shout out to y'all for tuning in. Thanks for coming out, everybody who came out tonight. We about to smoke and get high for the rest of the night. Thank you. Love y'all. See you next week. Oh, next week we got Toasted. Toasted. See y'all next week.